Can you see my screen? Yeah. So yesterday we just provided the brief introduction about the about myself and about training, why database is required, what is data, and what is information. So we have taken the SBA project, and we discussed about the why database is required with respect to the SBA. So why database has been invented and how the request will go from the user to database. So once you entered your username and password, how it will go to the database and how it will provide the, for example, right, everyone knows online SBI application. So where you need to provide the username and password so that it will populate your account related data. What are the transaction? What are the available balance, fund transfer, all of user related options will be there. So how that request will go and how it will be populated to you. So that is also has been discussed, and what is data has been discussed. So why database is required, what is database is also discussed, and in which what type of sectors is using the databases, why they require the database in their sectors. So there are banking sector, airlines, universities, telecoms, finance, sales, manufacturing, HR management. All these sectors is required to store their information for the future purpose and provide the service to the customers. They need the database. So that is also has been discussed, and what is RDBMS also has been covered. How the data is stored in the RDBMS. So the data is stored in the RDBMS in the form of tables. A table is nothing but a collection of rows and columns. This is also has been discussed. So we have shown you what is the relational database and what is the interrelation between the tables. So we had a discussion about the why is SQL is different across the RDBMS or is the same. It is also done. And anyone is having any questions on yesterday's session, guys? Who has attended? No questions? Okay. So today we will see about the SQL. SQL. So somebody will call it as a SQL, somebody will call it as a SQL. In real time, we will call it as a SQL mostly, or some people will call it as a SQL as well. So SQL is structured query language. So SQL is structured query language and also referred to as a SQL. So as I discussed yesterday, SQL is a programming language is used to interact with the relational database management system RDBMS. So we use SQL is primarily used in RDBMS. So we use SQL to interact with the RDBMS. Either you can read the data, either you can write the data for all activities to interact with the RDBMS. We use SQL is a primarily language. So SQL is most wide range of language which is using in worldwide. So all major RDBMSs, relational database management systems, Oracle, MySQL, MS SQL, PostgreSQL, and so on, use the SQL. So if you observe, the name itself is indicating the SQL. SQL. So they're all databases must and should use SQL to interact with the database. That is the origin for every database. So every database is invented, developed based on the SQL only. So by using SQL, we can read the data from database. We can write the data from database. Read the data from the database is nothing but the data which is stored already. If you want to view the data, if you want to see the data, if you want to retrieve the data, that is called reading. Reading or retrieving, both are same. Whatever the data which is already stored, if you want to view the data, that is called read data. So write data into a database. Write data is nothing but if you want to store the data for future reference, you need to write, you need to create the data into a database. Next is create, modifying and delete database. So if you want to store the data permanently, you need to create the data. And if you want to change some modifications on the existing data, then you need to go for the modify by using update keyword. If you want to delete the data which is there already in your database, then you need to go for the delete database. Analyze the data. Why do we need to analyze the data? So as I discussed, the every table must have the interrelation between the tables. So this is a customer table, this is the order table, this is the product table. So for customer table to order table, customer id is the relationship. So this is called a data model as well. So if you know any one data model, so each every table which is there in the database, that is have must and should relationship with the other data, other tables. That's the reason that is called RDBMSs. Every tables are interrelated in the database. So for order table to the relationship is product ID. Now my requirement is I need to I need to display in my report or customer. So there is a business user who is own this product, who is own this product. They wanted to know, they wanted to know customer details and customer name and what and all orders they have placed it and when they have placed it and what is the products they have placed it and what is the price for that, because they wanted to they wanted to improve their business. See, for example, let's take trends. You know, right? Trends. So trends, there are kids wear, men's wear, and women's wear. Women's wear. Now, now the main ultimate product owner is Anil Ambani. Sorry, Mukesh Ambani. There is a business users who is dealing these businesses. Now, for end of the month, they need to know, they need to know what is the profit on women's wear, what is the profit on kids wear, what is the men's wear. Can you please go on mute? Somebody is speaking. If you don't, hello, I will take up your questions at last. Please go on mute. Yeah, okay. So they wanted to know how many orders has been placed for the kids wear, men's wear, and women's wear. What is the price for that, and how much amount we sold it, and what is the profit on that. So that they will improve their business where they are lagging. Let's assume that kids were not performing well. Then based on that, they will change the business strategies. How we need to improve our business in the kids way, how we need to achieve our market, how we need to reach the public. So what they will do, they will put some different offers to reach the public, so that they will sell more products with the less profit. Then definitely they will become, they will increase their business so that they will get more profit. So to all together to knows all these the details, there will be a products, there will be a sales, there will be a price related, there will be a orders related, everything there, that is everything there in the database. Whatever, if you observe, they will scan it and they will put it and they will give it to you. So we know that further scanning is, we will think that the employees should not take that money, everything should be transparent to the owner of that shop. But background of it, everything will stored in the database. They are entering in front end, that will be stored in the database. To analyze those all the things, we know those details. As a developer, you need to provide these details to the business user based on their requirement. So now we need customer ID, name, order ID, date, and product ID, price. So we need details from three tables. So we will combine this all three tables by using SQL joins concept. Then we will get the data for the those particular fields, field or column or attribute, all are same in real time. If we call it as a field, if you call it as a if you call it as a column, if we call it as a attribute, everything is same. Then we will get the data and we will send it to the business user. So for that, that is called analyze the data. So based on that, now you know, if you send the data, it will be a tabular format. Tabular format, the user, when business users see, so it will take more time to understand for him. So that's the reason they have introduced many analytical tools, tableau, power BI, power BI QQ, these all the things. So by using those tools, the business intelligence developer, reporting developer, whatever the data we fetched from the database, they will build the reports. So why it business build the reports? When graphical representation, if we see our eyes, immediately we can capture the data instead of checking the tabular format. So, okay, so we can analyze the data by using SQL. We can send the data so that the business intelligence people build the reports. Next, so yesterday we discussed data. Anything which is understandable by the system is called as a data, or else the collection of events needs to be stored in a single object is called as a data, or else collection of raw facts is a data. Everything. The events is nothing but, the events are nothing but whatever the transaction, if you are whatever the action you are performing on the database, that is called one event. If you insert the data, if you add the data, that is called add. If you modify existing data, that is modify. If you remove the existing data, that is removing the data. So every action is performing on the database, that is called one event. So now, as discussed yesterday, how the data is stored in the database in the form of tables. In the form of tables. The table is not the everything which is created in a database, that is called one object. Everything which is created in the database, that is called one object. The object is anything which you created and it is stored permanently the database, that is called object. That is called object. So now table we are creating in a database to store the data. So table is one object. Table is one object. We have different type of objects: tables, sequence, synonyms, indexes, procedures, functions, triggers, package, and so on. So we will see one by one in further. So each object have its separate topic, so we will discuss. So now the objects are two types in the database, guys. The objects are two types in the database. Anything which is created by a user, that is called user object. Anything which is created by the user, that is called user object. Once you install the software, so you need to install a database in your system to practice it. The same way in server, in real time they will install a database to store the data. When you install a database, automatically system created some tables. Those are called system objects. Those are called system object. User object is nothing but created by a user and manipulated by the users, and it's contain the user data. That's only, no, we are creating a table to store the data for the future reference. So we are creating means it's created by me. I am the user for the database. For example, if you go to the SBA, so who are the users, who are the customers for them, who and all is having the accounts in their bank, they are the users, or they are the customers, or they are the clients for the SBA bank. The same way, now, HP laptop you bought it. Who are the users for them? Who bought that laptop? They are the users for the HP. The same way, who and all is having the access to the database. For example, there is a single database. In real time, two, three developers are there. The across the whole application, the database will be stored. So multiple teams will have the access. Some people will have the read access. Read means, excuse me, they can only read the data. What is the existing data, they can only select the data or read the data or retrieve the data. They can't modify, they can't remove, they cannot perform any manipulation in the sense inserting the data, updating the data, and deleting the data. Some people will have read and write access, who can perform the, who can read the data, who can manipulate the data. Developers will have, database developers will have read and write access. DB administrators will have read and write access. So multiple people have the access with the same database, right? So the database, who and all is having access, they are the users for the database. They are the users for the database. Let's assume that the database is having 5 users. Uh, Within the five, among the 5 users, each user is created 10 objects, 10 tables, 10 tables. User is created, who is inserting the data? User only inserting the data. That means it contains the user data. So those all objects is called user objects, because user is creating that object, and user only can manipulate that one, and that contain the user data. So understands? Now system object. System object is nothing but, as I said, once you install the software, automatically system will install some objects, either views, either tables or anything. Some objects it automatically, some objects it will be created. Those called, who is creating the air, system is creating those objects. That's the reason we are calling system objects. So is nothing but data dictionaries. System objects is nothing but data dictionaries. Next, moving further. So in SQL, there are some commands which are categorized into 5 types. By using these commands only, we are going to interact with the database. Without using these commands, without using a single command, we cannot access with the database. Except these statements or commands, we cannot use to interact with the database. We cannot use other than that any statements or commands. Even we doesn't have anything, we only interact with the database by using these commands only. Other than this, there is no commands to interact with the database. So those types are ddl, dml, dcl, tcl, and dql or drl, dql or drl. So five categories they have segregated. Five categories. DDL means data definition language. DML means data manipulation language. DCL means data control language. TCL means transaction control language. So DQL means data query language or data retrieval language. Retrieval or retrieval in the sense we are reading the data which is there already in the database, which is there already in the database. Okay, so here we will see later these commands. Before going to these commands, so you need to know there are some data types which you need to know. Why you need to know those all the things I will let you know. So already there is a employees table data or else account master table data, account no, VTS underscore account underscore table. There is account tables. Okay, see the employee table only. See. So this is called reading the data or retrieving the data. So there is a object employee table. So we are seeing if you want to view the data that is called read or retrieval. So now DDL is create, drop. There are five commands in a DDL: create, drop, alter, truncate, and one more command is rename. DML is insert, update, delete, merge. There is a one more command in the advanced concept, insert all. DCL means data control language. By using DDL commands, we can we can create the object, we can remove that object, we can change the structure of that object, we can remove the whole data from the object, we can change the name of that object by using DML. DML means manipulation. Manipulation in the sense we can insert the data, we can update the data, we can delete the data. These two we will discuss in the advanced concepts. Data control. Control means providing some security for that. You can grant and revoke two commands. For example, there are 10 users. You need to provide the access for only 5 users. Other 5 users they should not access. Then you can use the grant to provide the access for only these 5 users. You need to remove access for all 10 users, then you can revoke that access. Okay, we will see these commands in further. So before going to that, you should know the data types. Why I need to know the data types? You may get doubt. When you create a table, when you create a table, data is stored in its form database in the form of columns. This is called rows. Rows. This is called row. This is called column. column, attribute, and field all are same. Row, record, and tuple, these all are the same. These all are the same. So how the data is stored in the database, guys? In the form of table. So before going to this data types as well, you need to know about the table. You need to know about the table before going to the database as well, uh, data types as well. Table. How you need to create a table? What and all the rules for creating a table? You need to know for this. You need to know. First, table. What is table? What is table? Table is a database object. It's a database object. Database object and use it to store the data and use it to store the data permanently. Permanently. It is collection of rows and columns. This is the table. So you need, there are some rules you need to know while creating the table. While creating the table, there are some rules you need to know while creating the table. The rules is, the rules is table must be start with the character. Table must be start with the alphabetic, you can think, or character. Table must be start with alphabet. Table must be start with alphabet. So either A to Z, capital A to Z, or small a to z, or small a to z. Even if you give small a to z also, the table name will store in the database in the capital letter only. Even if you give smaller case also, by default in the database, the table stored in capital letters only. So now one more thing, table names, table name, this is table name, guys. So before going to this, to create a table, syntax is create. Syntax is nothing but what, guys, yesterday we discussed? Rules. So you must and should follow those rules. Then only the database will understand what you are doing. So leave about that create command. We will see later. Create table, table name. Create table, table name. Open parenthesis. Then column name 1, column, column name 1. Then data type, data type for that. Then size, then size for that column. Next is column 2, column name 2, column name 2, same data type, then size for it. Next, column name 3, or else and so on. Multiple columns you can declare. Multiple columns you can declare. Now to create a table, what and all arguments you required, what and all parameters you required? I need table name, and I need column name, then I need data type, then size for that. So to this is a create is a statement or command we can discuss in the commands, DDL commands. So to create a table, I need a table name, column name, and data type. Okay. First, we will discuss about the table name. Table name must be start with the alphabet A to Z. You must and should follow this format only. Then only delimiter, semicolon or delimiter at the end of the statement. Then only the database will understand that you are creating a table. You are creating a table. So there are some rules I said yesterday, right? The rules is nothing but a syntaxes you must and should follow. So table name must be start with the alphabet. Next is table name. Table name. Table name should not contain spaces or special symbols or special characters. Table name should not contain special characters. You know, right? Special characters in a keyboard should not start with special characters. What are the special characters, guys? Zeros, parentheses, dollars, symbols. These all are the special characters. It should not start with the special character. Table name should not contain also fine. Should not contain. That's your wish. How you can remember. Contain. Next is table name. Table name must have at least one column. Table. Table at least or else must have one column. If you want to create without columns table, that does not possible. At least one column is required. One column is required. One table can have maximum thousand columns. Maximum 1,000 columns. Very very important, guys. They will ask in exam or in interview. Here I said, right, multiple columns we can declare, column 1, column 2, like that. Maximum we can declare 1,000 columns only. Maximum we can declare 1,000 columns only. Table name. Here table name, for example, table name I have given some this much length. So the maximum table name contain 30 characters only. That Arkel server doesn't allow maximum 30 characters for the table name. So table name can contain maximum 30 characters. 30 characters. And table name cannot be a Arkel keyword. Cannot be a Arkel keyword. Arkel keyword. Arkel keyword in the sense, if you use, there are some keywords, right? Like delete, insert, update. You should not do you because that is one more command in the SQL. One more command in the SQL. So these all are the rules, guys. While you one more thing, guys, table name is not case sensitive. Table name is not a case sensitive. Is sensitive. Why? Because even if you give in smaller case, it will stored in uppercase only. Let's see. So leave about this statement, guys. Leave about this one. Create. You will see. To create a table, what is the syntax? Create table. Table name. Table name. I am giving table name is I am giving table name is at least open parenthesis. At least you should declare one column. So I am taking leave about the number is a column, guys. NO is a column name. Leave about the data types. We can discuss in the data types. So I have taken the data type as a number data type. What is the issue? Invalid table name. Why it is invalid table name? Table name should not contain special characters. Table name must be start with the what, guys? Alphabet only. Table name must be start with the alphabet. See, now table is created because we used the alphabet only. We used the alphabet. Table name cannot be a arcal keyword. I use insert. Insert. Insert is one more command, right? See, it will raise error, invalid table name because it is one more command. It is a arcal keyword. It is a arcal keyword. See, insert. Insert is a arcal keyword. You should not use it. Understand? Clear, guys? And one more thing, table name should not contain spaces. Open parenthesis, number, number is a column name, number date type. See, missing invalid option. Should not contain spaces. So if you need, for example, there is one real-time tables, transaction date and time, transaction date time. So you must and should provide the gap for that, like this. Here, trans ID, trans ID, trans ID, member date type. Next is date or else uh, transaction date, transaction date, date time, date type, or else timestamp we will take. I will let you know these things later. See now, invalid option because here space is there. How I need to create? Either you can combine it and create, or else in real time we use underscore. Underscore. Then what will happen? This whole thing will become one word. See here separately. Here whole thing will become one word. Now you can create. See, table is created. So in real time, always table names or full names will be there. So we will use underscores. If you need to give a space in between that, then you need to provide the underscore. Clear? Next. Next, what required, guys? Table name is cleared. These all are the rules. You must and should follow it. Now I said, right, at least table, sorry, at least one. See, please hold on, hold on. See, I knew that one. I am not talking about the giants concept now. While declaring the table, at least one column is required. See, missing left sir on this error. While creating a table, create table, table name. While creating a table, at least one column is required. Now see, already existing is there. See, table is created. Here, it's raised a error because we haven't declared at least one column for this. While creating a table, at least one column is required. You must and should declare at least one column. But in real time, number of columns will be there. 10, 15, 20 columns also will be there. Okay. So, and one more thing, what you observed here, even I am giving one column, transaction date and time. Name is already used by an existing object. Why it is raising error? Because, hello, guys, please hold on. We are not discussing about the giants concept right now. We are discussing about the introduction part. If you want, you can go and discuss in offline. Okay. Okay. So why it is raising error? Table name already we created. So there is one more point which you need to remember. Table name is unique. Always table name is unique. So you need to table name is unique in a database. For example, you created one table name is ABC. In again, if you try to create same table name, then it will raise error because already ABC table is there in a database. So that is called unique in a table. Next is column name. So we already discussed about the table name rules. Now we will discuss about the column name rules. Why? Because to create a table we need table name, just column name next. Column name. Next column name. Column name is unique in a table. The rule is column name. Column name is unique in a table. Second rule is column name must be start with a alphabet. Same how we are having the rule for the table, the same. Column name must be start with alphabet. Column name must be start with alphabet. Third rule is column name cannot be a Oracle keyword. Same. Column name cannot be Oracle keyword. For example, let's see. Create table. Create is a command, table is a keyword. We will discuss in the DDL. Just see, for example, I am creating XYZ table. Here, here, A is one column name, member date type. Again, A is one more column name, varchar to date type. So what I am doing here, column name is, I am repeating same column name. Let's see, duplicate column name. So that means the column name is unique in a table. The column name is unique in a table. So once you declare one column name, you should not declare same column name in the same table. You should not declare same column name in the same table. See, for example, XYZ. So A is a number. Same MN I will declare same column name in the different table. Can we able to declare in a different table same column name? See here, we can declare same column name. We cannot declare in the same table because column name is unique in a table. Once you declared one column, you should not declare same column name in the same table, but you can declare in another table. You can declare same column name in the another table. So as you know already, so column name must be start with a alphabet and it should not a Oracle keyword. Next is data types. Why you need data types? If you want to store any data in a column, if you want to store when you are store when you create a table, when you create a table, what type of data has been data should be insert in a table, you need to create. If you declare number data type, this column will store only numeric data. If you declare character data type, this column will store only character data or alphanumeric data along with characters and numbers. So you need to decide while you are creating a table what type of data should be stored in that column. What type of data should be stored in that column. So now we have completed table name and column name. Let's discuss about the data types. So in Oracle, there are two types of data types in our SQL. There are two types of data types. One is built-in data type, another one is user-defined data type. User-defined data type. So we will discuss about the user data defined data types in advanced concepts. So now we will discuss about the built-in data types. Built-in data types is which is by default, by default the Oracle has provided. Once by default the software once you installed, I mean not installation, so by default they have they have provide these data types to store the data in a database, to store the data in a database. User defined data types is name itself is indicating that will create by user, that will create by user. We can also create our own defined data type. We can also create our own defined data type. So built-in data types is which is provided by default the server. Any product, if you take Oracle, Oracle. If you take DB2, DB2. PostgreSQL means PostgreSQL. User defined is which is created by the user. We can also create our own defined data type. We will see in the advanced concepts. So the built-in data types are different types of data types are available. Character data type, number data type, date time data type, large objects data types. This is called LOB data types as well. Large objects data types. LOB. Row ID data types, long and raw data types. Long and raw data types. So these all are the built-in data types. We will see one by one. Character data types. Character data types. Character data types are used to store alphabetic or alphanumeric data. Alphabetic and alphanumeric data. Alphabetic in the sense, for example, I need to store Venkat. I need to store Venkat. So this is alphabets. So for this, I need to declare if my column is need to be stored any address or any these names, any designations, these type of things you need to declare character data types. You need to declare. See, let's see for example, there is a employee table, right? See, e name. E name in the sense the name is alphabets only, no? So we need to declare character data type for this. Next to job, it is also character. So you need to declare character data type for this. So character data types is used to store alphabetic and alphanumeric data. Alphanumeric data. For example, if you take Any bank, there is a IFSC code, right? For example, if you take SBI, it will start SBIN 000792 like this. HDFC HDFC 002293. So this is having alphabetic letters and numeric also. These type of, so now if I want to store IFSC code for the branch, there is a branch table also in real time for the banking projects. For that, branch id IFSC code, for IFSC code we will use this one. What we need to use for alpha, to store alphabetics and to store alphanumeric data, to store alphabetic and to store alphanumeric data. For both we will use character data types, we will use character data types. So let's see now what and all character data types are available in our SQL now. What and all character data types? First is char data type, char data type. Next is varchar2 data type. Char data type, see wherever if we see any programming language, this bracket, that is called optional. That is called optional. Wherever you see any programming language, this is called mandatory. Mandatory. This bracket is indicates optional. This bracket is indicates mandatory. So why I kept it's a mandatory and it's optional both. Why I used here? Because in character data type, if you want to declare a size, by the time it's a mandatory. If you want to declare a size, if you ignore it, then by default it will take 1 byte. By default it will take 1 byte. So by the time size is not mandatory. So but the reason, for character data type, size is not mandatory. If you ignore it, by default it will take 1 byte. It will take 1 byte. So character data type, char data type is used to store the character data within predefined length. Within predefined length. For example, you declared name is a column and data type is a char, size is 10 bytes. Size is 10 bytes. 10 bytes. Now you are trying to insert the data. What is predefined length now? 10 bytes. 10 bytes. Size we will call it in bytes, guys. Size will call it. What is how many KBs for the MB? 1024, right? 1024 MB is 1 GB. 1024 GB is 1 TB. These all are the sizes. Kilobytes, megabytes, gigabytes, terabytes. Size we will call it in which size we will call it in bytes. Size we will call it in bytes. So now how many bytes we declared? 10 bytes. What is the predefined length? 10 bytes. That means we can insert the maximum 10 bytes data. Maximum 10 bytes data. Maximum 10 bytes only we can insert it. So now it is a fixed length data type. Character data type is a fixed length data type. The maximum size is 2000 bytes. We can declare we can declare maximum 2000 bytes. Maximum we can declare 2000 bytes like this. Name is a column. I declare as a character maximum 2000 bytes. More than that, we cannot declare. For example, let's create let's create one table. Create table name student info, student information. What and all required for the student? Student ID, student name, many things, right? Let's take just a name for now. Name, car data type. I have taken 201 2001. What is the issue? Specified length is too long for its data type. What is the maximum size can store car data type? Very important, guys. What is the difference between char and varchar 2 in interview question? Char and varchar 2. What is the maximum size we can declare for the char data type? What is the maximum size? 2000 bytes. Maximum we can declare 2000 bytes. 2000 bytes. So I am trying to declare the size 2001. That's the reason it is raising error. Now you can see student info 2000 I will give. Table is created. So maximum size we can declare for char data type is 2000 bytes. So now leave about these comments. We will see later what all those. Now I am creating student info. Name is some 7 bytes. Some 7 bytes. Let me insert the data. Insert into student info values. You don't need to worry about this, guys. This is all commands we can discuss later. Just to see. Now can we able to insert the Venkat? So every character it indicates one byte. Now how many bytes we are inserting, guys? Here how many bytes? Tell me, guys. How many bytes we are inserting? One, 6 bytes. 6 bytes. Now I am trying to insert how many bytes now? 5 bytes. How many bytes now? 4 bytes. How many bytes now? Only 1 byte. Let's now what is the issue? How many bytes we are trying to insert? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. See here it will show. Value too large for its column. Value too large for its column. Because we declare the column size is maximum 7 bytes only. So you are trying to insert a 9 bytes. The maximum size is 7 bytes only. So now leave about the these functions. Just to see, I will take. I wanted to see the length name. The column is having name from student info stud. How many bytes it is we inserted initially? 6 bytes, right? Am I right? But it is taken as 7 bytes. Why? It is inserted as 7 bytes. I am finding out the length of the table name, length of the name of the column name here, length of the, even we inserted 1 bytes, but it has taken 7 bytes. Here we inserted 4 bytes, it has taken 7 bytes. Even we inserted 5 bytes, it has taken 7 bytes. The remaining bytes, what it will be insert? Why it's take blank? So if I specify varchar to 7, why? So now, yeah, as I said, char data type is a fixed length data type. Fixed length. Char data type is used to store the character data. I mean alphabetic and alphanumeric. Character is a case sensitive. If we insert in smaller case, it will take smaller case in the database. If we insert in uppercase, it will insert in the uppercase only. So we inserted all in the uppercase, so it has taken uppercase. If we inserted all in the lowercase, it will insert in the lowercase only. See, so character data is a case sensitive. So how the Arkel server, see for example, I am giving Shiva, so it is not allowing, even though I am inserting the character data, alphabetic data only. Why it is not allowing, even though column is a character data it stores, I am inserting the character data only. Why it is not allowing means any data which is given in single quote that will be treated as a character data. Arkel server or SQL server, if you want to insert a data, if you want to insert a character data in a database, you must and should use within single quotes. Otherwise, Arkel server doesn't understand and doesn't treat it as it's a character data or string data. Character or string both are same. So always you need to insert the data in within single quote only. Then only the SQL server will understand that you are inserting a string data. Then it will check the column data type, whether the column will accept the string or not. So it is a char data type. So definitely it will accept the string data or character data. So even 4 letter 7. Why? Because that is a fixed length data type. That doesn't matter how many bytes you are inserting. That doesn't matter how many bytes you are inserting. Because char data type is fixed length data type. That doesn't matter how many bytes. Even if you take 10, you are inserting 1 byte, it will take 10 bytes only size. Because that is a fixed length data type. That doesn't matter how many bytes you are inserting. Always it will take, always it will take how much bytes you declared, that many bytes it will take. The remaining characters, here you are inserting only one character, remaining 6 characters, it will apply the blank pads. You have to explain to the interviewer this point. You have to explain this point. It will apply the blank pads. Pad in the sense attaching. It will take the blank. So total 7 bytes, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You have taken 1. Here it will take blank. Here it will take blank. Here this all it will take blank. To attaching to this, we are call it as paths. So remaining characters by default it will take blank. When in case of char data type only, because char data type is a fixed length data type. Char data type is a fixed length data type. Understand, guys? Have you understand about the char data type? Char data type is now let's see one more table. I am creating student info, student one, member data type, member data type. I am taking student one. The column name is student ID. Let's take smaller case only. Student ID. I am taking char data type. Size is mandatory for char data type, guys. Size is mandatory. Its size is not mandatory because see we haven't provided. Now to see the table structure, there is a command called DESC, describe student one. Spelling mistake, student one. See, did we declare any size? No, but it has taken. See, even describe, there is a table one more called student info, right? For this, you can see we have declared 7 bytes, it has taken 7. So, even we have not declared any size, but it has taken 1. So, for character data type, size is not mandatory. If you ignore the size, by default it will take 1 byte. So even you declared column name is a smaller case. By default it will take uppercase only. So what is a char data type now? Character data types are three types. Character data types are three types. One is char, another one is varchar2, another one is varchar. So what is character data type, guys? Char data type, it is fixed length data type. It is fixed length data type. Fixed length data type. So the length is fixed. That doesn't matter how many bytes you inserted. It will take always how many bytes you declare maximum size. Size is not mandatory. If you don't provide the size, you don't provide the size. By default, how many bytes it will take? By default, it will take 1 byte. Clear? So the maximum size is how much, guys? Maximum size is 2000 bytes. By using char data type, you can store maximum 2000 bytes. That's all this character data type, guys. Any doubts for the today's session? We will see tomorrow varchar2 and varchar data types. Any doubts? Anyone is having any doubts? Is my screen is off? Not visible? Okay. Ramna Reddy, tell me your question. You raised your hand. You can continue next 5 sessions are free. I mean next to 3 sessions. Once you like this training, then you can ask me. Any other doubts? So again, guys, same. I think you all are there in my WhatsApp group. So I will upload the today session there, and I will send you the link. Okay. Any other doubts? Sudha, seems you have raised one hand. Okay then. Thank you guys. Let's see. Meet you tomorrow. Bye bye. Have a nice day.